Good evening and welcome to Success in the City. My name is Helen Webster. I'm with the lovely
Sandra Scott, and we've got the amazing guest today, April and David from Batala Merseyside.
Hey.
Hi.
Which I'm very excited about.
I think I'm slightly more excited than you. So for everybody who's listening, so I don't think David and April appreciate how excited we are about having you on. So we've lived the journey of Batala with Sandra for possibly 18 months to 2 years now. We've been on the show about 18 months, haven't we?
Yeah.
And one of the weeks, Sandra had an audition on Zoom with drums, chopsticks and a biscuit tin, which was amazing. So yeah, so super excited, and thank you so much for giving your time up to be with us tonight. So Lisa Douglas is listening in, and she says, "Hi, April and David."
Hey,
hi Lisa.
Hi Lisa.
Del Jack is saying hello, guys.
Hi,
I bet you get loads of people listening today because they know David and April, not to do with me and you, son. Yeah,
it's a great community, though. It's a really nice community group. But we best go through our normal show.
Yeah. So very first, we shout out to the kids, any young people who've done amazing things this week. So Sandra, do you want to go first?
Yeah, go on then. I've got a shout out to young Riley, who Danny de Brabander did a kind gesture to today. They do these random acts of kindness, and Riley's been supporting his mum, who's got a cancer diagnosis at the moment, and held her hand all the way. So, and Danny de Brabander, former guest, amazing charity he's set up as well through his own journey, and they've gone and given them an act of kindness, and they went to Chester Zoo for the day.
Oh, amazing!
So fantastic.
Brilliant. And Rob Waterhouse is listening in. So we're going to shout hi to him. And Rob Waterhouse, Jan Senior, who I know, said, can I, because I did a little video on Sunday, which we'll get to a bit later on. And she said, can I share that with my friend? And I was like, yeah, share away. And it was Rob. So hello, Rob. And David Pereira is listening. He says, Batala, you are amazing. Well done, you. So that's cool. So April, any young people that you want to shout out to?
Young people, I think it was all of the kids dancing on Sunday. Just amazing. They were all getting into it, absolutely loving it. It's brilliant.
Brilliant. What about you, David?
You stole my line, April.
Yeah.
But there's very little of the highlights from the last week, so absolutely, I'll say the same again. It was fabulous. All the kids everywhere just getting involved.
It was great to see everybody who was just listening in. Everyone was bouncing, a little bouncing, a little sway as they were all listening. They were also like bouncing and drumming along, so it was quite cool. So yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to St. Cecilia's Infant School. So we've been there today with Lou, our interactive playground, and we had nursery reception, year 1, year 2, and they were just amazing. They were just absolute little superstars, and they loved it. And one little boy on his way out, he went, that was just a sick day. I was like, thanks. About 7, I was like, thanks, yeah. But they all loved it, and they were brilliant. So yeah, it was lovely, lovely to see them all today. So success personally this week. So something that's happened to you that's been amazing that you can share with everybody. Go on, Stan.
Well, what April and David don't know is my weekly successes lately have been about what's happened in Batala. So one of my successes one week was no one had to stand in front of me and show me how to move and that. So my successes on Wednesday was there was only once when they did the turn, I was the wrong way. And we went into band formation, and then I was doing the drumming, and I was there all happy. And next minute, I've got someone looking at me side on, and I thought, ooh, and I had to walk around. But it only happened the once this week, where it had been each time. So each week it's got better and better. And we're in London tomorrow, so I'm devastated I'm missing tomorrow. But so we've had a few little successes this week, but that's one of them. My little munchkin Evie Jo had a very good session on, made massive progress with it on Saturday morning, so brilliant about that as well.
Well done, Evie Jo. Massively well done. Well done. April, success for you personally this week?
Where do I start? Got all of my plants out and got them some sunshine.
Yeah.
Put them all in the garden, watered them all, got them some sunshine.
Amazing. I love that. That's great. David, what about you?
I promise we haven't rehearsed this, but I was going to say exactly the same again. Get the lawnmower out. That was what I was going to say, but that's the same, right? But it's still a success. It's lovely to be outside finally, isn't it?
Oh yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. To be out in the sunshine is just amazing, isn't it? You know, it's just, yeah, it's just lovely. And I think my success is that I'm going to London tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we've booked it all. So Sandra and I are going to London for 3 days to the big Better Education exhibition. And today we've been in school, and it's just lovely to be out doing what we're supposed to be doing. And I really felt it today that I just loved it. And I've had amazing, lovely message from the school just to say how lovely it was. And you know, so it's just great when you do what you love, isn't it? You know, so I think and a massive success for next week, for this week is going to London, isn't it?
Brilliant.
And managing to book the tickets as well and everything, and our hotel and accommodation and everything. So David Pereira says, congrats to all the members who played and part of this amazing event. Congrats to the amazing and fantastic April who made this event possible and made the possibility to help such cause possible.
That's lots of possibles.
Just, yeah. That's like a bit of a tongue twister there, wasn't it?
You missed this comment out that I noticed.
Oh, sorry. Shell Jack says, Sandra, you smash it every week.
Oh, she does.
You did say they were all kind at Batala.
Very kind. Very, very patient.
And actually, that's both Sandras. We've
Yeah.
got 2 Sandras now.
Yeah. She wasn't talking about you, she was talking about the other one.
We're going to have to go by second names now, aren't we?
Got them.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so this or that. We're just going to do one each, I think.
Yeah, because we want to hear all
We
about
want to hear
you.
more about Batala, don't we?
More.
Go on, San.
Okay. David, Brazil or Spain?
Oh, you.
What?
To choose? Brazil.
Brazil. Cool.
I'll get
Okay.
in trouble for that.
April, Brazil or Spain?
Never been to Brazil, so I'm going to have to say Spain.
Okay.
I've
Right.
never been to Brazil, but I'd like to go to Brazil.
Oh,
and I'm
me
going to
too.
say Brazil without even knowing, ever being there.
I haven't been to Brazil, but I'd like to go to Brazil, and I'm hoping to go next year.
Next year.
You'll be at Carnival with Batala.
I'd be very excited. I've been learning Portuguese like a demon. So I'm on the Portuguese every day. I'm doing that. So
I know. Well, you went to show us something on your phone the other day, and it was all in Portuguese. She went, "Sorry, I'm learning Portuguese. This is the only way I'll learn."
yeah, I put everything into the language. You have to immerse yourself as much as possible.
Great.
So that's that.
Good
With
tip.
hilarious.
So on Sunday, I was talking to a guy who had the same drum as you, Sandra, that, you know, the big drum.
The big, massive drum, as
Big,
I like
huge,
to call
massive
it.
one, yeah. And he said that he'd just come back from Spain, and I thought, oh, my question is going to be Spain or Brazil. So you've thrown me there. So I'm going to say conducting or actually being in the band. So performing in the band or conducting. April.
Ooh, that's a hard one. I'm going to take it as if I could only do one. For, you know, if
Yep.
going forward, and it would just be playing. It would have to be playing.
David?
Oh, it is tough. That is really tough because both of us have come from only playing, and that's what we love, and that's where the rhythms come from. But I'd love to conduct. I love conducting.
Oh, okay.
But Helen, you know what people don't realise? These guys, so there's me each week and I'm telling you about my drum and all the rest of it, etc. And some people have got loads. Theirs are very complicated. They've got to do all this complicated stuff. And I know my limitations bit by bit. Anyway, these guys can jump on any, they go on anything. They can play them all backwards. You know, when they're looking at this, they think, oh, someone's missed a note there. And I watch them and they know everything. So they know when each sound's coming in, they like hear it in layers, all the rest of it. You can just watch it. It's really inspirational to see them actually you know, and it sort of makes you think, God, I've got to do my part because they're doing all of this, you know. It's when you see what they're doing in the practice sessions and that, it's brilliant. And there's lots of people who are in the band who'll go, and one of them will say, David Joy will say, oh, we're short on so much, and then they'll jump on the other drum. And like some of these things, they're so complicated. You just think, oh. It's quite terrifying. But you know, it's brilliant. So they're really, really talented people. And I can imagine, is it stressful when you're conducting the group? Is it stressful or is it fun, or
it could be both? But it could be both at the same time. I'm sure you'd agree, April, right?
Yeah, I think that me and David are both perfectionists, so we want the best out of everybody, and we know what everyone's capable of, and we just want to encourage everyone to play their best. So it's not so much stressful; it's just wanting everyone's energy to be up all the time. But we know that's not possible all the time. But it's fun more than anything. It's fun and it's enjoyable. And when everyone else is having fun, that makes it the most enjoyable.
Absolutely. Yeah. The key is always to smile. If you smile, then that projects to everybody else. And likewise, the other way around.
Because the people as well, the other thing is like, because everyone who watches this has been through the whole journey with me. Each week when I go to newbie school, so the people who are already band members, they come to newbie school to help us. So you're standing there and you'll have people who are band members either side of you. So you just watch, you just look. They're so helpful and kind, and they're just so patient. And they'll go, "Oh, I went through that," and everyone makes you feel really good. But one week I was like that, and this guy goes to me, "Yeah, you have to smile." And I'm quite a smiley person, but I was concentrating. I was like that. I was concentrating so much, and I went at the end. I knew I was making progress when I was actually able to smile. And the week that I rotated at the same time as everyone else, I was like that. Oh. Just it's the little things that make you happy, the little wins. It is such good fun though. And, you know, I have to concentrate massively for the 2 hours when we do the rehearsal when we're learning on the school on a Wednesday night. But you feel so, and I wake up in the morning hearing it, thinking, you know, it's just such good fun. I mean, I wanted to do it for years, so I was worried I wouldn't like it. But I can't tell you how much I enjoy it. It's like, Wednesday evening, and I really look forward to the Wednesday evening now when I get to do lots of the clients don't know, but they're all getting moved on Saturdays.
Because we were looking, when we were going down to London, we were looking at trains, and I was like, oh, mate, I was like, maybe you could come on Wednesday night after Batala and I'll do the exhibition. And we were like, working our sort of exhibition stand around. We've been able to go to Batala class, weren't we?
Yeah.
But you're right, though. It's all about the energy and the wellness of it as well. So drums gives you that energy buzz. It gives you brain work. It gives you heart work. It gives you everything, or it can do, can't it?
So Sandra, how did you hear about us? How did you see us? What was the event that you saw us at to get involved?
Just probably in town. I mean, we're going back now. So my lad's 23. So it would have been years ago. I don't know. Is 10 years ago too long? Was it around then in Liverpool 10 years ago? I think it was at the Santa Dash or something. I was at an event somewhere, and I thought I want to do that. And then a long time, the first time I saw it, it was a long time ago. And I thought, I want to do that. And I remember saying at the time, I'd like to do that. But the way it was and my life was, and my husband worked away and my son was little, I thought I can't actually get out to do it. That I knew I wouldn't be able to do anything in the evening time at all. And I waited and waited and waited. And then I thought, I'm going to do that. And then I just had a look online one day on the website. I just read it, and I thought, gosh, I could do that now. And I just applied, and then I was on a list for a long time. And you guys contacted me, obviously, because you must have had your newbie school, and then it was the lockdown. So that was that. And then we did the online session, which everyone knew because I had to have a standing on the show. And then we were just waiting all the time. And, you kept the communication going, oh, you're still interested in that? And I was like, oh, yeah. And then I was scared the first time because I thought, what if after all of this I hate it or something? So what we wanted to know really is a bit, we've sort of carried on and not done our formal introductions. But
I know, I just need to say hello to Lucy Van Ranter, who she says, hi guys, from Yvonne the newbie, from newbie school, and all the band members are amazing. So that's a gorgeous comment.
Hi, Yvonne.
Hi, Yvonne.
But this is what the people are like. So Yvonne started when I did. So one week I was like, and I didn't understand this app payment thing or whatever. I didn't have. So she goes, I'll pay yours one week, and I paid hers the next week. And everyone's like that. Everyone's kind. They're just nice. You know, you're just with decent people. They're just all lovely, all different walks of life, all different jobs, but come together for the activity, and you can see it. You know, it's just lovely. Yeah. And also Yvonne normally howls laughing at my red face each week.
People only listening for your red face. I do say that every week.
One about the Hoover, but we won't mention that again. So anyway, I wanted to know, April and David, how you guys got involved in this. So David, you're the director, aren't you? Or one of the directors is of Batala Merseyside. And April, I asked you about your role, but you've got quite a leading role though. And you said that you're like a caller, which isn't a bingo caller. You'll have to explain what that is to everyone.
So I am on the committee, so I help manage the day-to-day running of the band. And with that, I'm also a member of the musical team. So the title for that would be caller. So that's what I do at the front when I stand and conduct. That's what we call it in Batala. We call it a caller because you're calling the songs.
It's not that much different from a bingo caller.
No, and we do shout numbers, so.
Absolutely.
You have all these signs and everything, and you're like, I'm like that track, like you can't take your eyes off them because the minute you do, something else happens and you've missed it. Oh, it's terrible.
I'm going to think about that every time we do this now, Sandra. That can be two little ducks.
So, David, how did you get involved in it? We'll start with you first, David.
So probably much like yourself, actually. I saw the band a long while ago, and there was a different chapter of Batala then. So I joined that band in Liverpool, and then just over time, just got more and more involved in it. So I joined and started playing one of the smaller drums, one of the louder drums, and just ended up that you can either have, you know, a little bit of your time or a lot of your time. And eventually I just found that it was just my thing. And it just, I grew to love it just as much as I love the music.
And were you a musician before, David?
I mean, I played a cello at school in orchestra up until 21. And I was in choirs up until 21 as well. But none of those things, or neither of those things, has anything to do with percussion. But yeah, I do have some music, but certainly not percussion. I'd never played percussion before.
Oh, right. And what about you, April? How did you get involved with this?
Exactly like most people, you see the band in the city and you think, love this, want to do it. It was actually my mum that encouraged me more than anything. So I think we were just out in town one day and we just saw them in town and we just got the feeling for it. And my mum was like, I'm going to do that one day, I'm going to do that. And then I remember being in work. Do you remember HMV in Liverpool?
Yeah.
The big double story one where Shoe is now.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this, like, everyone was like getting all like excited. And I was like, what's going on out there? What's going on there? Yeah. So I went outside and they were parading through Liverpool 1. I was like, oh yeah, it's all right that. Yeah, it's all right. So I rang my mum and I was like, saw that band again? She's like, no, I've put us down to join. I went, all right, okay. To be honest, I was a bit like, all right, I'll give it a go. You know, it was something that, you know, she wanted us to do together. And it was, you know, I was a bit hesitant at first. I think like I was only like 20. So it was like a bit of a coming out of my shell thing for me. And my mum was encouraging me to meet new and different people. And I absolutely did. And, you know, I am so nervous. But as soon as I put that drum on, I was like, love this. This is where I'm meant to be. Love it.
April, is your mum here?
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah, there she is.
Hi, Mama.
Hello,
And
April.
is Mum still playing in the? Did she go and play? And
She did. So yeah, we played right through until she had a little injury. So it was about, she's probably not played for about 4 years now. She had a little injury. She had a little break, but she met the man of her dreams now, and she's got no time for anything else. So
amazing.
She was there on Sunday though.
she was, yeah, she was there.
She's on water.
And were you a musician, April, before?
Nope. No, wasn't a musician before, and that's what we say to everyone. You do not have to be a musician to join this band. You know, you will learn everything you need to learn being a part of this band. And I still, to this day, I've never played a drum kit. Never.
It's amazing, isn't it, that people have got, you know, especially to be like conductors and directors and be able to listen out and hear different drums and be able to stand there and know exactly what's going on with no prior musical
Absolutely,
sort of training or anything like that. I thought you would both be like musical, you know, coming up.
But you know what,
through the ranks and things.
That's about how they train it. Because you have someone else with a different approach who'd say, right, we have to do this and maybe make it all theoretical. Talk about learning by doing. You're there, and you're between, and you are thrown in a bit of the deep end, but you are nurtured. But the people there and the people next to you just help you constantly, and they'll say, "Oh, hold it this way, not this way. It's easy." Or you know, people are there, and you just sort of in it straight away. Yeah, it absolutely is learned by doing it, and it's good as well because it's not just the physical thing. Because you've got the sound, you know what's going, and when you hear, you think, "Well, mine's supposed to." I'll try harder. It's good. It's just really good, you know, because you're watching and listening at the same time, plus you're being directed. So the way they teach you, it is a lot to do with that. If it was taught in a different way, I think you would have to have previous. It's just the way it's done.
Yeah.
You know,
we always say drums is a language of its own. So we have noises that we make for the different drums, but we try and talk as little as possible and play and make the music as much as possible.
And don't get me wrong, like David and I have learned so much about musical theory and the techniques and all of the things behind it since being a part of Batala. But what our maestro, the creator of Batala, always wants to encourage us is just feel it. You know, don't worry about where it comes. Don't worry about where you're playing. As long as you're playing it with feeling and playing it with love, then it's going to sound amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And I was when I was talking about going on the Sunday, and I know Sandra was, you know, bucket collecting, and we'll talk about Sunday. And I was talking to one of my friends, and their partner's deaf, and we were talking about Batala, weren't we? And so he can feel the vibrations, and he can sort of feel like the energy of and we were talking about something, and he said if he has a balloon and he holds onto the balloon while he's while he's listening to Batala, so he feels the vibrations of the drums through the balloon, and then so he experiences. And I think, you know, when you say you're playing with feeling, that's the way he feels it, to be able to hear it. And it really made me, on Sunday, I parked in the Baltic and I walked through Liverpool one because it was a beautiful day, and I got to John Lewis.
I saw your video. I saw the crescendo of it going louder.
And I didn't think, and I thought, oh yeah, you can hear it, because I said to Sandra, "Where are you?" She went, "You'll hear us." And I said, "All right, okay." I walked through, and I thought, "Oh, you can hear it." And you could see people like, "Oh, you know, what's that noise?" And they were all looking around. And then I got a little bit further, and I thought, "Oh, you can feel it a little bit." And I thought, I'll try. And I thought, I don't know whether on an iPhone, you know, in the middle of town, whether it would pick up on that. But as you were getting closer and closer, and then we got to then, it was like bang, it was just this noise. It was just,
and you get that wall, don't you? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, David. Yeah, absolutely. So, for the viewers and listeners, tell us about what the specific event was, because we did promote it on the page and we did talk about it last week. Because I have a teacher who teaches Russian for me, who's Ukrainian. So, and I know she lives here, but she's been trying to get her godson over, and she's worried sick. So, and for you know, for humanitarian reasons, obviously what's been going on is horrendous, and you do feel helpless. You think, what can we do? What can we do? So I was delighted when this was announced. So how did it come about, this event?
Do you want to cover that, April?
Well, yeah, it was a vision of mine, basically. So yeah, exactly. It was, what can I do? You know, what can I do just as a person sitting here in England? And I was just thinking, what are my tools? Of course I can donate, of course I can, show my support and share things, but I have this band, at my disposal that I could have done something with. And when I put this vision to our committee and our members, we just had nothing but support. So, went through all the processes of the permits and the applications and everything like that. And it just went bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think that because it is such a focus at the moment, everyone was more than happy to support it. So it was amazing. So,
and you did it in pretty quick time, really, didn't you? What was the day you decided you were going to do it to actually putting the event on?
I think the turnaround was about
3 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah,
only a couple of days after all that had started.
Yes, it's pretty impressive in that short space of time to be able to get all those people and coordinated, because it wasn't just in one space. You played at the bottom of Church Street, and then you went up to the top, didn't you? Like different places for different people to experience it, and then you'd set a Just Giving page up and book it collected on the day and things, and
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we also arranged to get the samba dancers in as well to come and expand the experience. So the Anahis came and joined us.
Yeah, it was just the more people that I was inviting, and then the more that I was promoting it, the more people were interested. Can I volunteer? What can I do? What can I do on the day? And it's like, oh, we've only got 10 buckets, but just come, make noise, dance, enjoy it, love it, So, no, it was great.
April, what's the total at now that was raised?
Well, I haven't checked because I've been nervously putting up this and getting my cup of tea ready, like Sandra told me to. But we are most definitely over £5,000. That was our target in mind. So yeah, £5,000, and that's a definite. So that's going to the British Red Cross and DEC Ukraine campaign.
Isn't that great? And I was overwhelmed because I was collecting there because I was a bucket, not shaker, sort of shaker person. And people were coming up, people were putting £10 into after the other, people putting notes in all the time, and people were putting coins in or what they could, and people were just so generous. It was just incredible. And I thought, gosh, there's so much. I have to say, years ago, I did a fundraiser in Church Street and got £17. So
well done.
And there were 4 of them.
Everything helps.
You needed 60 drums with you doing that.
Yeah.
How many people were actually drumming on Sunday?
Just about 60, I think.
Yeah.
April, that was the number.
Yeah. It was about 60.
Wow. And did they come from all over, or?
So we had obviously members from our own band, but we had Batala members from Lancaster, from Bangor in North Wales, and then from Barmouth or Bermo, they call themselves in Mid Wales as well. So there are 7 bands of Batala in the UK, and we often help each other out with events, and particularly these kind of events. They're wholly unifying, and they're just wonderful to be able to invite other people to and see the effect that the drums and the generosity of our wonderful city has.
And that's the idea, Helen, that the set pieces people play. So theoretically, you should be able to go into anyone in the world, globally, any of these bands that there are, and play the same music and follow the instructions. So it's the same everywhere you go. And that's the idea. So, because I was quite intrigued as to how that was going to work. And they did. And these people came and they just all played the same. And it just was like, it just runs so smoothly. So
when there's so many... When there's so many people playing, because I think with the 2 of you conducting, was somebody conducting from the front, then somebody was sort of in the middle, because if you've got 60 drummers and somebody's at the back and they possibly can't see the conductor, what are you called?
Callers.
Callers. If they can't see the caller at the front. So how is there a ratio, or does it depend on what?
It really depends entirely on how the band's set up. Neither April or I are blessed with very, very tall genes, so we either need to stand on tiptoes or jump, or for Sunday on occasions we have 2 or more callers sometimes in the band as well, so that helps convey the message down through the rest of the players.
but you can see Helen. So I try to get to the back if I can on the side for it. Unfortunately, my drum has to go to the side, so you can't hide completely. You can sort of get to the back. But where mine is the alternator. So with a different drum, it's the same drum, but there's like a large one and a smaller one, so it's alternated. So I'm looking at the person two in front of me, but they put their hands up high, so you can see what they're doing. So you can see them, and also they're moving constantly. So they'll have their hands up doing what they do, but they're moving from side to side, so we know. So like she'll go like this or whatever, and they think, oh right, I've got to do that in a minute, and you know what, you know what's coming. But they do it loads, so that even if you're going like that and you see it, and you have to really watch them though and make sure. So,
we have the little tactic though, like if we see that someone's a little bit too into it and they're just drumming away, we have to wait for their eye contact, and then we just give them a nod and tell them it's coming. So it's just, we have a connection with the band, and we know when it's coming, and they know when it's coming, and we give them a nod and they know it's coming and they know to look.
Because you just transition, so you've got one piece and then you transition into the next piece of music. So that was the thing I noticed, like the first few weeks, you're there doing this, and then the next minute they're all doing this. You've got to like, and it's making that transition each time. So they warn you it's coming. And then bit by bit, and you think, oh, that's that one there. So
do you have a set sort of like a set playlist, or is there do you decide and you think, well, it's this one, we're going to play this type of music? Or
sometimes we do, and we write out particular sets so that we can keep to time schedules. But the music of Batala is it's not quite endless, but there are lots and lots and lots of different rhythms and different types of music, so we can vary that so that we can either play a short, really explosive amount of music, or we can ultimately stretch it, and we can play for 2, 3, 4 hours at a stretch if we need to.
And how long do you play, David, say like at the Notting Hill Carnival, for example?
That's anywhere between about 3 and 6 hours normally. So we're at the Notting Hill Carnival, and that's where all the bands in the UK and across the world come and join together. And the band we saw on Sunday, which was 60, we can be 2 or 3 times as large as that in Notting Hill. Huge amount of noise.
Wow, that'd be cool to watch, and you'd definitely hear them coming in there, wouldn't you? That'd definitely be that's amazing. Absolutely. That Where's the most also the best place that you've ever played?
David's got more experiences than me. David's been everywhere.
It's a really hard one, and I'd have to not say Brazil all the time, but it's so hard to get better than Carnival in Brazil. But the most unusual and unexpected experience, I think, was in Cuba and Havana, and that was a fabulous Carnival where we played as a relatively small group, but it was very privileged to be invited to play as part of Havana Carnival.
Wow, lovely. What about you, April?
I haven't had the opportunity to travel much, to be honest, but I think that probably if you were to speak to most people in Batala Mersey, they would say that their favourite Liverpool-based performance is Brazilica Carnival. And there's nothing like drumming in your own city, performing in your own city, in places that you know, and looking into the crowd and seeing faces that you know, and just it's electric.
And it's a perfect example of how individuals come together and make something really good. Because if one person was playing the drum on their own, you'd be like that, oh. But as a collective, it's something really magical, actually, and has a massive impact. And it's everyone being together and playing as a unit, but all doing their own bits within that. It's, it's very powerful indeed. And it's nice to be part of something, actually, that's such a positive, successful thing.
The sense of belonging, isn't it? And Dana, who stepped in when Sandra was doing Batala, and Dana, our young, gorgeous Dana, who stepped in, she actually danced in the Brazilica Fest, and she wore the big like the big wings and the things like that. So she was, when we were talking about it, she was like, oh yeah, I know all about them, and she was raving about it. But I think as you were saying, Sandra, a sense of belonging is everything, you know. So there's lots of people who join clubs and want to be something, and to have that sense of community, and we can tell tonight that you've got a massive huge sense of community, because there's lots of people listening in, and lots of people are joining in and interacting with us, which is just beautiful, isn't it? You know. And Shell says she's honestly in awe of April and the dedication she shows, not only to Batala, but to everything she sets her mind on. She is formidable and an inspiration.
Oh,
So how gorgeous is that?
yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah. So if people want to join Batala, how do they go about it? Is there a process?
To be honest,
email. Go on.
Yeah,
Sorry, April.
I mean, people get in touch in any possible way they can. They come up to us at performances, they Facebook message us, they Instagram us, and what I do is I just tell them that we can put them on the mailing list, and we do that, and we do a newbie school every year. So they go on the mailing list, and we'll keep them up to date as to when the next newbie school is going to happen. And then we just do it just like you're doing, Sandra. We do like a 10 to 12 week course to give you the basics of Batala, and then we ramp it up each week. Put you on the spot, get you turning, get you dancing.
Get you hooked. That's the idea.
Yeah. So how many are in Batala Merseyside at the moment? How many members do you have?
Well, once Sandra's group joins us, we'll be around about 70.
Wow.
In total.
Well, you were saying before as well about sort of my journey, April, and how I got into it, and I saw it years ago. And then what happened was, I always watched it. If I ever saw it, it came up, and Monique and I have known each other throughout professionally for some time. And I saw on Monique's, and I thought, oh, Monique, I thought I can well do it. Monique's doing it. And so that was that really. And she always goes, hi, how are you getting on and everything, And it's when and what I love about it is the age variation's massive. There's like a lot of young people, there's older people, there's all, there's all different age groups there, and people from all over, and it's really quite good. It's a nice diverse group, And I mean, no one knows what anyone's day job is. No, I haven't got a clue what anyone does. We just go to the band, and that's what you do, and it's quite nice that as well.
It's a proper disconnect, isn't it? You can be part of a community and not know what your other community members do on a day-to-day basis, but you all come there to share the same enjoyment and energy and passion.
Yeah, it's really good fun. I'm quite excited about the opportunity to travel as well. Oh, and on Saturday, I'm there, and one of the dancers turned up that was Emma Pennington that I knew from it, and I went, hello. It's funny, isn't it? It's but April, I did promise some people. I said, oh, come down, and I said to some gentlemen who we know through business, some of the ladies are scantily clad, and then I said, oh, I lied. No, they've all got pants on.
It's April in Liverpool. It's not in Brazil.
That wouldn't usually stop them. I think they were on the best behaviour on Sunday.
Yeah, amazing. So, what's the next step for Batala?
So the plan for us now is, as we just talked about, getting Sandra's group in as part of the full band and really developing that full community again. And really our season starts now. The end of April onwards starts to get really, really busy. There's plenty of opportunities of things coming up.
So excited. And Helen, it's going to be on Saturday afternoons. The rehearsals are 4 hours. So let me just tell you guys, when we do the 2-hour one, I do 8,000 steps in the 2 hours in the thing, because Pat, who's my helper, who looks after me, who's a band member, Pat goes to me, and I go, we've done 8,500 steps, Pat. And now, so God knows the 4 hours, I'll be like Twiggy. I can't wait.
Brilliant.
There is a cheat though. Your Fitbit tells you that's a step.
Yeah.
That is a step.
Don't tell her that, Dave.
No, but I'm not on one of those drums. I'm on one of those drums.
You're still not walking when you're doing that.
Exactly. No, you have to move all the time.
You're still moving, aren't you? You're moving more and you're drumming, so you're burning calories as you drum.
Oh, I believe I've done 8,500 steps. I'm devastated now.
You will have.
more. You've moved 8,500 steps worth of movement, haven't you, rather than sitting on the couch?
I have, yeah.
So that's cool, isn't it? You know.
Well, Lucy said, Lucy, who is really Yvonne, said, "Oh my God, I can't wait." That's our Saturday.
So, but when we were just before we jumped on, we were talking about, and we don't really want to talk about lockdown anymore, but we were talking about it. But you were saying that you engaged with everybody and carried the club or the group on. So, tell us how that happened.
Well, it was really because we wanted to keep seeing and talking to each other, so that it was an excuse really to get round a screen, because that's all we could do, and have a good gossip as to what we'd all been doing. So the drums actually, because we couldn't drum together, we came up with ways of sharing rhythms across the Zoom platform we used quite a lot. And we did teach some new things, but it was quite limited. We couldn't all play as in unison together, but it really was just an opportunity to continue the discussions and have that social interaction, even though we couldn't have the social interaction.
Yeah,
we were forced to be very creative. We somehow, me and David managed to record a whole song with all of the pieces together, but recorded separately. So it was David filming one part, and then me putting it in my headphones, going in my mum's shed, filming the second part, passing that back to him while he films the third part. So I was quite impressed with that, David. We did well.
Wow,
It did work, yeah.
And is there any way we can get to hear these tracks? Are they anywhere, or is that just to teach?
They're secret. Sandra will get to see them, but no one can see them. They're secret. We record things for the purpose of teaching our members, but we don't want to ruin the specialness behind debuting a new song, and with training videos out there, it would just diminish how special it is when we get new songs going and teach everyone everything. So.
But if you put into Google Batala Merseyside, there'll be all sorts of YouTube videos that come up with lots of the music on.
Yeah, I went onto YouTube and I was having a little look at certain things, because I'd seen years ago and you'd played at the Albert Dock, and it was in front of the new museum. And I remember standing there just thinking, I don't think I'd ever seen it before, and I was like, what's this? And I love the vibration and sort of like the energy side of it. It was amazing. And then when Sandra said she was going to play, I was like, that's just amazing. That's like,
yeah, I just love it. Honestly, it's so good. When you do something and you just made up, you've done it. It's just brilliant. Anyway, I played it to my mum and she went, "That's awful."
And my Uncle Ron was hilarious, wasn't he? So my Uncle Ron listened in, and Sandra puts things on Facebook, and then he has a little comment, so he's hilarious. And somebody had done a video of newbie school, and it was how well they'd done and how amazing they were, and he just put underneath, didn't he, what a din or something.
Yeah, but just to make you feel better, my hair is very curly normally, so if I ever do the show and I've just left my hair and it's dead curly, he goes, "Medusa head."
Vermicelli hair, he says.
And he said, and everything. Yeah, that's right. We had it in our little quiz, didn't we?
Lucy says she loves the stories of Uncle Ron. I'm going to get Uncle Ron to actually be a guest on the show.
Well, I've got him down with our other mates next week.
Yeah, but they can't do next week because Anna Sexton's coming on next week.
I
booked her for tonight, so I double booked.
We're always doing that.
I know.
Yeah. And if you get binned, you're the less important guest. No, Anna. Only joking, Anna. No.
We're very privileged then.
Very privileged.
You were the top of their bill.
Michelle says lockdown was difficult for a lot of individuals, but having your Batala family there for you with fun Zooms and activities and workshops really helped with positive mental health outlook. And I think that's a massive thing. And drumming is one of those things that you can't think of anything else while you're drumming, can you? Because you end up losing rhythm and things like that. No, it's a thing. It's your left side and your right side of your brain are working at the same time. It's actually a brain workout, isn't it? By drumming as well.
Yep.
You know,
You need to switch off and just engage in the music. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. I remember going to Steve Shotton, he does Drummercise. I remember doing drumming, and he was talking, and you did it as a little rhyme, and then he asked you to say something, and your drums were it was hopeless. Yeah.
They do say drumming is very good for your mental health. They encourage it. So
yeah, it's good for your mental health, and it's also good for stroke patients who've had a stroke. It's very good to drum because of the brain frequencies. Leandro Andrade, is it Andrade?
Leandro Andrade.
Andrade. It's amazing. So where are all these people from? Are they all from Liverpool, or are we reaching lots of other people?
I think
We've seen a few familiar names up, haven't we? Yeah. A few people from Liverpool, certainly.
That one we've just got there, that comment we've just seen, it was
fully fitted kitchen sinks and taps.
Yeah.
So that's one of the what would you call it, David? Like a
mnemonic.
Yeah. So to remember the beat, it would be dugga dugga bat bat boom boom bat. So I say, everyone just remember fully fitted kitchen, sinks and taps.
Oh yeah. Dead funny that.
We always got to stick it up your jumper as well.
That's the one.
All your trade secrets are coming out here.
Well, it's dead funny, Helen, because these will talk to each other, and you're there, and they go, "Which one are we doing? Are we doing blah, 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 blah?" And you're just like, "Or are we doing this one?" And they just talk all the rhythm, and you're just like,
we have our own language.
Batala's going to be a language on the census next time. You know, you're going to add the languages. Batala language.
Amazing.
But listen, just so interesting what you do.
It is, isn't it?
No, but I think we've got lots of our members are watching, and then lots of friends as well, because we've shared it amongst all of our socials as well. So hi everyone.
Well, we're going to put the link on April after the show. If anyone else who's sort of wants to help, who wasn't aware of the Just Giving, would like to make a donation now and everything, just to help you total, because it's amazing what you've done. And so not just the whole group and the opportunities, because anyone can join this group. It's open to anyone, and it's affordable. You know, you think of some things you do in life, they cost so much money to access, especially music related things. You know, if you pay for music lessons, they're expensive and everything. This is affordable, and it's just wonderful. It's accessible to everyone. And I would just say, it doesn't matter who you are, where you live, what you do. If you're interested, you should see if you want to come along.
So where do the drums come from?
From Brazil.
Wow. And so Sandra's in newbie school now. So is she using Batala Merseyside? Do you have a big cupboard with loads of drums in?
Yes. Yeah, we have a storage unit with, I can't remember how many are in there at the moment, 20 something drums in there at the moment. But when you become a member, and we've talked about this with Sandra very recently, when you become a member, you get to take your drum home. So you then have to look after it.
You walk around Croxteth Park banging that.
Absolutely.
Wow. And then so do they have different types of, you know, can you start off and you have sort of a beginner's drum, and then as you improve, can you have like the same drum but, you know, sort of like a guitar, and then, you know, you go to the really expensive guitars? Do the drums work the same?
There's sort of different technical attributes to each one, but they're accessible enough that you can play any one of the drums straight away. You know, newbies, we liken to having your driving lessons. Once you pass your driving test, you can go on the motorway, but actually you've never driven on the motorway before, so you need to learn all those new techniques. So it opens that door, but you can play any of those drums straight away.
Wow.
Look what Yvonne's written. Take yours to play to Uncle Ron.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. He'd love it. You know what? If it was you who was playing it, it'd be made up.
They wouldn't comment on your hair then, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh no, I had a lady message today, and she said, "Oh, my dad just loves your drums." She said, "When are you playing again?" And I said, "We'll be at the Pierhead on Sunday for the marathon." She went, "Great, I'm bringing him along." So,
you at the half marathon on Sunday?
We are indeed. Yes.
Whole thing.
Well, people were asking me on Saturday, and somebody was very annoyed that I didn't have a full events list. And I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry. If you check the Facebook page, it might be on there."
So is there such thing as an event list?
Well, I manage with one of my colleagues our social media, and we just post updates as to when we're going to be playing next. With managing such a large band and the availability of individual members and supplying a band to events, we don't confirm until, maybe a few weeks before. So we can pencil them in, and update here and there, but we mainly have everything confirmed a few weeks before, and that's when we post it on our social media.
And April, can people hire the band? Because I know you do so much for charity, but can people hire the band at events?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, we've played at all sorts of things before. So from the carnivals and that kind of events, but we've played at weddings before. We've even played for a wake before.
Oh, wow.
And we played for some other fabulous events, but lots of small things, medium things, and large things as well. The band can be anywhere between 6 people and, as you saw on Sunday, 60.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you did Car Fest. I saw that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We do well at festivals. It gets everybody going. So I have missed. I think that over the last 2 years, things are starting to ramp up again this year, and I feel like it's going to be a promising year for events. And looking forward to what's coming. I have missed the festivals and carnivals and all of those things. So looking forward to all of the events.
Is this a way to get to Glasgow?
I'll carry your drum if you go into Glasgow, mate, because I've been in the draw for like 10 years and never got tickets. Chloe and Joey were like 20, never, first time in, tickets out, so I was fuming. So if you go into Glasgow, I'm carrying your drum.
Absolutely. It's also important to remember that, I think, as Sandra picked up, it's a community thing, and all our members are volunteers, and everybody who's part of this just does it because they love it. So we confirm events because we love taking this music to different places, but we only do that because we're a community and we love the music.
I mean, I think that the people who come to the newbie school, the band, every single week, and you guys every single week, that's all voluntarily every Wednesday night, just to help people come and learn it. It's just so nice.
That's when you're part of something that means so much, is that that you've experienced being a newbie, to be able to then, somebody's done that for you, haven't they? And for you to be able to repay that on is just an amazing feeling, isn't it? I'm just looking at your t-shirt, and you've got mugs and all sorts of Batala things that have just been floating about. We've got flags. Oh yeah, I'm onto that. And have you got a hairband in as well, April?
I actually found this in Primark and I thought it was perfectly coloured. So
I thought that was a special Batala one. So if people wanted to buy mugs, t-shirts, do you have a little merch section on your website?
We don't. Maybe that's something we need to look into.
Oh yeah, get a merch section going there.
Go on, David.
Yeah, we do various runs of things for our members, and sometimes we extend that to other people, but we haven't yet tapped into that big potential to make it available to the masses, as it were. But yeah, we often find that when we go to other Batala events, other bands have produced different things. So we take things, other bands have different things. So you become a magpie for things that are red, white, and black. So anything that you see in any store that's red, white, and black, you just take it.
And where do you get the funky pants from? Because I absolutely love the pants, the trousers.
They're part of the costume. So the costumes come from Brazil as well each year, not for the last few years, but they come as part of the package. So if you become a member, the costumes are part of that package for the year.
Wow.
I thought I'd have to get my sewing machine out. I was going to be sent material to me.
Oh, believe me, you will. It's one
not saying you won't.
So you'll have to do some alterations, definitely.
Oh, right, okay, cool. We'll have to put elastic in them.
Oh yeah. Patsy's brilliant. She manages to fix them to fit her perfectly every year, and she puts her Velcro round and spot on.
Brilliant. Wow. So I think we could talk forever, and we could like rock on and carry on a little bit, don't we? So shout out to the grown-ups. And I know that, so I am going to go first, okay?
Oh.
And I'm going to give a shout out to all of the Batala team and troop and everybody who came from, because I didn't realise that people were coming from all over the country to join, which I think is an amazing thing. Oh, there's your cat. Look at that. Hurrah.
That's Pip.
She snuck in there so fast she had to make an appearance.
There she is. Hello, cat.
Really, Pip.
So so I'm going to give a shout. I'm also going to give a shout out to all of the people who stopped and watched, and everybody was on their phones, everybody was video, and everyone was filming, and to raise awareness of Liverpool as a city in a positive light is just phenomenal. And I think that's everybody what you guys do. And if you're going on Sunday to the marathon, which is cool as well, because I'm going to watch a few people who are running in that, so that's boss. Yeah, so go on, San. Shout out to the grown-ups.
Shout out to Polski Merseyside, the Polish community in Merseyside, who, as soon as this happened in Ukraine, kicked into action and organised articulated lorries, and then got everyone else involved. So people who aren't from the Polish community all went down to the place in Walton. A lot of stuff donated on the Wirral as well that came over, and they had photos on today that was shared about the articulated lorries actually out there, and they're helping the people in Poland who've taken in over 1 million people from Ukraine, and their own economy isn't great, and they've just opened their homes to help. So there's lots of food and clothing gone to Poland, etc. And Segura Bar in Walton is running an event as well for ex-servicemen. So they do loads of charity stuff there, which is fantastic. And I want to give a massive shout out to April and David, being extremely patient. Helen thinks I'm dyspraxic, and I think she's probably right, because I do circuit.
In a kind way, I mean that,
In a kind way, and she has to show me she's equally as patient, show me the exercises. And even though I go Tuesday, Thursday, like most weeks, it's often like I haven't done it before, and I have to get shown it all the time. I'm not joking. So for me, that's why I went for the drum that had the less movement, because, for me and once I've learned it, I'll be fine. But I just feel that people are incredibly patient. And Pat, who's got my back and looks after me and goes, don't worry. And everyone there, because they're just such kind people.
Amazing. Shout out to the grown-ups, April.
Shout out to the grown-ups. I've got so many people I could shout out to, but all of the people that came and shook buckets on Sunday, everyone in Liverpool who donated, threw a few pound in, everyone who's donated on the Just Giving link, and my cat. She's a grown. Thank you. Honestly, everybody supported so much. It was just absolutely amazing. It was unreal. So thank you to everyone who donated, everyone who supported. I could not single anyone out because it was just such a collaborative effort. So
yeah, brilliant. And for you, David?
We're back to a non-rehearsed. That was my answer again. So, certainly, I was going to say a shout out to Sandra and all the bucket holders for Sunday, because you did the hardest job, particularly holding those really, really heavy buckets for the entirety of the afternoon. Thank you so much for that, and obviously for April for organising, coordinating, and making it happen. But particularly for Batala Merseyside, for all the people for the rest of the year who make this happen, because April and I are here on screen, but there are so many people that make this community what it is, and it wouldn't be half the community without all the efforts and all the hard work and organisation and commitment from so many volunteers that help put this together. And can I also just give a very quick shout out to both my parents, who are, unfortunately, they hoped they would be able to come on Sunday, but they're currently isolating it in their house with COVID.
Oh.
they're okay, but
let's hope they can come on Sunday then to the half marathon if the little line disappears, isn't it, off the test and things.
Indeed.
But I want to say a massive thank you for coming on, for both of you giving your time. I know you're really busy and you give your time, Wednesdays and Saturdays and things for your Batala, but to come on and share your great news and your story and stuff, it is massive. Been a journey of ours as well, San, hasn't it? Like in a story, that, and so to actually meet you in like real, I met you in real life on Sunday, and then to see it on screen today is amazing. And I know that everyone. So we always finish the show with a positive quote or something, and you might have one each, or Batala might have something that possibly is a mantra or something like that. So do you have one, either of you?
Our typical Batala mantra is one drum, one love,
Oh,
which is very, very apt at the moment. Very, very apt. One drum, one love.
I
But
love that.
there's also one on this mug as well. So that's
Yes. Keep calm and Samba on. Amazing. Amazing. Lucy says, well done, April and David. You've been fab. And we've had lots of people listening. Massive thank you to everybody for listening in and sharing the story. And April and David have been amazing. Scotty, you've been amazing as always. And I'll see you in the morning, mate. And one more
Thank you so
battle.
much for having us, guys. Loved it.
Thank you very much. And we will see everybody next week with the lovely Anna Sexton.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, bye-bye.